Suddenly, Hercules realized that something was terribly wrong. His strength started to fade away, and a horrible pain shot through his entire body. He knew that not much time was left. Hercules. We all know him as the powerful Greek hero who is blessed with superhuman strength and an unbreakable spirit. But behind all of the exceptional features is a lot of pain and suffering. The hero, who is the son of Zeus and Alcmene, was born as Hercules. Prior to his birth, Zeus had already a wife, who happens to be his sister as well, namely Hera. But the king of the gods of Mount Olympus isn't really known as a faithful husband. One day, the mortal Alcmene, who was a descendant of the hero Perseus, caught the god's attention. While her husband Amphitryon was at war, Zeus took his form and impregnated Alcmene. One reason for Zeus' behavior is that he promised that the next descendant of Perseus had to become the ruler of the Mycenaean kingdom. Another fun fact, Perseus is also the son of Zeus, so you know what that means.
No amount of therapy will ever make this moment okay.
While Amphitryon found out that his wife was pregnant, he was absolutely enraged. But when Zeus revealed that he was the father, Amphitryon felt honored and accepted the father role. But Hera had enough of Zeus' disloyal behavior. While Alcmene carried her son Hercules, aka Heracles, aka Hercules, another woman named Nikip was also pregnant with a descendant of Perseus. Hera used her powers to delay the birth of Hercules, and so Eurystheus, the son of Nikip, was born first, which meant that he had to become the king instead of Hercules. Out of fear of Hera, Alcmene abandoned the young Hercules, but Athena rescued the boy and brought him back to Hera, who didn't know who the kid actually was. She decided to nurse him, which made the kid even more powerful. While feeding Hercules, he caused Hera so much pain that she pushed him away. The milk that came out of her breasts created the Milky Way. After this incident, Athena took Hercules and brought him back to his parents. When the goddess realized that she accidentally helped Hercules, she became obsessed with turning his life into a nightmare. Hera developed so much hate towards Hercules that she even intended to kill him. When baby Hercules was sleeping in his crib, the vengeful goddess sent 2 snakes to kill him. But the boy was exceptionally strong and fearless, and so he strangled the 2 serpents. But even though the young hero has survived Hera's wrath, his painful journey wasn't far from over. As a young man, Hercules was involved in a war against the kingdom of Orchomenus. He and his men managed to emerge victorious, and the thankful king of Thebes, Creon, offered Hercules to marry his daughter Megara. The couple had 2 children and lived in harmony, but Hera was determined to make Hercules' life as miserable as she possibly could. She cast a horrible spell on the young father that caused him to get extremely aggressive and rageful. Driven by this madness, Hercules killed his wife and his 2 children. After he regained control over his mind, he realized that he committed this horrific act. Plagued by a guilty conscience, Hercules decided that he didn't want to live anymore. His cousin Theseus convinced the desperate hero to face his misery and advised him to atone for his sins. From that moment on, Hercules wanted to redeem himself, and he sought out the Oracle of Delphi to ask for guidance. The oracle functioned as a messenger of Apollo, the god of truth and healing. But little did Hercules know that Hera controlled what the oracle said, and as a result, Hercules was told that he had to subordinate himself to King Eurystheus and to serve him for 10 years. And that's when the hero's road to redemption actually began. He was informed that he had to perform 12 labors to lose his guilt. Some of those were extremely dangerous, while others were simply humiliating. On his journey, Hercules had to defeat extremely powerful creatures, such as the Nemean lion and the Lernaean hydra, which was a 9-headed poisonous creature that was able to regrow its heads after they have been cut off. Hercules got help from his nephew Iolaus, who burned each wound of the beast after Hercules cut their heads off. This prevented the heads from growing back. But the hero had to deal with other powerful beasts as well, such as the man-eating Eurymanthian boar or the Cretan bull. The latter was an extremely violent bull that impregnated the wife of the island's king which eventually resulted in the birth of the Minotaur, which is a beast that has a man's body and a bull's head.
Oh, hell no!
Similar tasks required the hero to drive away a bunch of carnivorous birds from the area of Stiflea. He had to travel to Hades in order to kidnap the Cerberus, which is a three-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld. Another labor required Hercules to drive nearly to Africa. There, he had to steal the cattle of Geryon, a three-headed, six-legged monster. Similar to previous labors, the hero had to catch 4 man-eating horses of the Thracian king Diomedes. Other tasks weren't as difficult as the previous ones. Hercules had to capture the sacred pet of the goddess Diana, namely a golden hind. The king Eurystheus chose this task for Hercules because he had no doubt in his mind that the goddess would kill him for it. But surprisingly, Hercules explained Diana his situation, and in return, she allowed him to do what he was asked. But that was not the only time that Hercules had to use his intelligence instead of his strength. One labor was pretty humiliating. The king Augeas had enormous stables that had to be cleaned in just 24 hours, an impossible challenge. But the hero used 2 nearby rivers to flood the barn, and just like that, he outsmarted his enemies. Keep in mind that Hera tried to sabotage Hercules on more than one occasion. Another mission required the hero to steal the belt of the Amazon queen Hippolyte. Again, Hercules explained his situation and she agreed to give him her belt without a fight. But Hera disguised herself as an Amazon warrior and lied that Hercules was about to kidnap the queen. And while the hero was on his fleet, the warriors attacked him, and out of fear, Hercules killed Hippolyte and ripped the belt from her body. Furthermore, Hercules had to steal the apples of Hesperides, which is the wedding gift that Hera gave to Zeus. So all in all, the 12 labors were extremely demanding, but Hercules managed to complete all of them successfully. And that meant that he finally redeemed himself, and that he could live forever among the gods at Mount Olympus. But that's not quite the end of his story. Hercules had many other adventures after the 12 labors. He had to survive slavery, and also Titans tried to kill him. But one time he had to fight the river god Achilles, so that he could marry a woman named Deianira. And when he wanted to take her home with him, the centaur Nessus tried to violate the woman. But Hercules used one of his poisonous arrows and shot the beast. And while the centaur died, he told Deianira to take some of his blood, because it would make Hercules love Deianira for eternity if he came in contact with it. I know what you guys think. This beast was about to violate her. Why would she even listen to him? Anyways, the couple lived in the city of Trachis, but the peaceful time was rather short. Hercules went to war once again and killed one of his longtime enemies, namely Eurytus. As part of his victory, Hercules took his daughter Iole as his concubine. While planning to celebrate his achievement, Hercules asked his wife to send him his best shirt. Deianira remembered what the centaur told her, and so she put the blood all over the shirt. And when the hero finally put it on, he noticed that something fell off. Suddenly, Hercules realized that something was terribly wrong. His strength started to fade away, and a horrible pain shot through his entire body. He knew that not much time was left. Then he started to burn, and eventually the hero died. Deianira realized that she was the one that killed her own husband by accident. She couldn't forgive herself and ended up taking her own life. Hercules' body was placed on Mount Oda, where his divine part ascended to heaven, which turned the hero into a god. There, he made peace with Hera and even found a new wife.
Oh, beautiful!
I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any wishes for the topic of the next video, then feel free to share those in the comment section down below. Have a great day, and until next time.